out-of-body experience.
Welcome to the Brothers of Wrestling podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Brothers of Wrestling podcast, and welcome back to another episode of the Wrestling Rewind, where we take you back in time and go over some major events throughout WWE and just wrestling history in general, and we recap and some favorite pay-per-views, moments, whatever it may be. This time, we have ECW One Night Stand 2005, the first ECW event since WWE acquired them and rebooted the franchise. So I can't wait to talk about it. How are you feeling about this, Hayden?
Oh, I love a good ECW event. Definitely a little bit watered down with the WWE backing it, but you get that old school classic ECW vibe. Hammerstein Ballroom, good environment. Yeah. I always loved how these two events they did really came out. This one in particular is definitely more of a flashback, a celebration of ECW. So yeah, I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, this one, 2005 definitely felt more ECW than 2006. 2006 is good. In my opinion, 2006 the better pay-per-view, but ECW...
Yeah, because it goes with the WWE more. Like, it enhances storylines.
Yeah, but 2005,
if you're ECW
it's just a love letter to
more.
ECW, is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really well done. I mean, Joey Styles and Mick Foley on commentary. I know how you feel about Mick Foley on commentary.
Yeah, he rubs me the wrong way.
But I thought it probably would have benefited from just... If they wanted to go full ECW, they probably should have just had Joey Styles on, since that's what he did back in the day.
Do it, not allowed.
But,
not in WWE.
Yeah, I know, but they had to have a color commentator and a play-by-play, obviously. So I thought it went over pretty well. They did it, like you said, in the Hammerstein Ballroom, and the reason that this happened is a large part why it happens is because WWE had released the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD, which you have. And
I do have that.
And it had such big success. It was so popular. It got so many buys and all that kind of stuff, made so much money that Vince saw dollar signs and he was like, let's reboot the franchise. Let's reboot the brand. And they had the One Night Stand, which then leads to, don't they come back? Or does it take a whole year to get back, or do they come back?
It's a whole year.
Okay, so they have the One Night Stand, the one-off. Then
yeah, it was supposed to just be a one-off.
Yeah,
obviously,
but then
it's called One Night Stand.
It does so well that they come back in 2006 and do it, and then that leads to what, the next night or the next week they have the ECW show, the first TV show.
Yeah, they do the pay-per-view, and then that next Tuesday starts.
Yeah, that next Tuesday. Okay, so basically, what we're going to be doing in this episode of Wrestling Rewind is just going over the matches, talking about some of our favorite moments, and some interesting things that happen, maybe some tidbits, information, whatever we want to talk about. So let's start with the first match. It is Lance Storm with Don Marie versus the Lionheart, Chris Jericho.
Yep, I like this match. I gave this match a 3.5. It was a nice farewell if you followed Lance Storm's career, because this is ended up being his final match he ever wrestled. His first match was actually against Chris Jericho, so it's kind of that
they brought
nice
that up
little,
during the commentary.
Yeah, they talk about it because then they ended up tagging together too. So it was that nice little farewell for Storm. He had kind of slowed down by that time anyway. He wasn't really wrestling much. And this was kind of just like that little farewell for him to get out there with Jericho one more time, and then he could wind up and get his career done. A little weird how the match ends with it being a farewell match. But
I wanted to point out it's an ECW crowd because it was random the whole night. And during this match, they broke out into F. John Cena chants. So
yeah. They were showing displeasure to the WWE right away.
And then we get the first interference, which Jericho goes for the walls of Jericho. Storm's tapping, but Don Marie's distracting the ref. And then Just Incredible. And who was the other guy? Jason something? I don't know who.
No, it was just Credible.
No, I thought somebody else came in. I thought there was two people that came in. But anyway, they interfere in the thing. Then Jericho goes for the roll-up. Storm kicks out, pushes him to the ropes. Credible hits Jericho with the Singapore cane, and Storm rolls him up for the pin. And I noted specifically that Joey Styles and Mick Foley reacted pretty negatively to that match, how it finished.
Yeah, because everyone came in knowing that was gonna be Lance Storm's last match, and it just seemed kind of weird that if you're gonna do a farewell match with somebody, that he would
Yeah. Why would
go
that
the
be?
heel route out.
Why would that be the
But
finish?
but the only reason that really happened was that they were trying to throw it back to the Impact players,
Mm.
and which was credible in Storm and ECW.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is, but definitely it was classic WWE trying to push too many things into one thing.
Yeah, they're just shoving.
They
Hey,
could
this guy's
just
from ECW and he's connected
yeah
to the story. Push him in.
yeah. I did like that Jericho came out as Lionheart.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was kind of
That's
cool
a
because
good
at this
touch.
point in his career, he was pretty much wrapping it up with his first run with WWE,
Mhm.
and so it was nice to see him kind of revert back to that Lionheart character there. So
Yeah. So after
yeah, I like
this,
that. I like the match.
yeah, it was a fine match. It didn't last very long. And so
No.
after the match is over, they cut to they before they cut to the promo, they have running storyline throughout the whole show is Raw and SmackDown superstars are invading, quote unquote. They're
Uh-huh.
gonna they pan the camera over to like the press box area, which the balcony area where there's like empty box seats for the superstars to show up at some point. So they do
Mm-hmm.
that, and then they cut to a backstage promo with Pitbull Gary Wolf, who is basically just talking about all the ECW superstars that can't be there because they died. And
Yeah.
the most notable out of there's some big names in there, but the most notable was Chris Candido, who died 2 months before.
Yeah. With the whole TNA thing.
Yeah, so that was how they transitioned to match number two, which is the International Three-Way Dance, and I like this match. This is pretty fun. It
Oh, yeah, I love this
It
match.
was Tajiri with Mikey Whipwreck and the Sinister
Mm-hmm.
Minister, James Mitchell, who had completely forgotten was even involved in ECW.
Uh-huh, yep, Sinister
I
Minister.
completely
He
forgot.
let him have a one night only. See, that's what's crazy about that too, is that he was at this point he's in TNA with Abyss.
Oh, that's right. This is 2005. Yeah, he's full on
Yeah.
Abyss.
He's full on in the Abyss character, and they let him
That's crazy. I
come
didn't even
back
think
and
about
do the
that.
ECW thing for one night.
Whoa.
I know, when I saw him I was like, oh my god. Because I mean, not that he didn't dress like that all the time, but he was in full like Father James Mitchell
Yeah,
attire.
yeah,
It wasn't like he would look like he was coming out with Abyss.
yeah. I
And
didn't even put that
yeah,
together.
that was crazy for me
That
to
is
read.
crazy.
I forgot all
Now that you
about
say
that.
that, that is crazy. Vince would never do something
Yeah,
like that.
because no, yeah, TNA was like, this was important to him, and they kind of did the same thing later. We'll talk about that guy too later, but
But then
another guy that was in TNA just right before this that came
Tajiri
back.
with Mikey Whipwreck and James Mitchell versus Little
Mm-hmm.
Guido and Super Crazy.
Oh, I love a good Super
This
Crazy.
match
One of
was
my
actually
faves.
insane, and mainly because sometimes I forget just how hard Tajiri hits.
Oh,
Tajiri
Tajiri's a
Tajiri is
psychopath.
one of those wrestlers that wrestles like he doesn't know that it's not fake.
Yeah, yeah. Tajiri would scare me if I had to
He
wrestle him.
wrestles similar. Ilya Dragunov in current day WWE wrestles like that. He wrestles like
Yeah.
nobody told him you're not supposed to hit him as hard as you can.
I know. It's he was smoking
But
guys out there
some of
too.
those kicks that Tajiri gives, specifically in this match to Guido and Crazy, ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and Crazy hits the moonsault.
Oh, amazing. Off the
That's
balcony.
that's remembered throughout history.
Oh yeah, that's played on all the different
Mm-hmm.
packages before they changed everything.
But I gave that match a 3.75.
Nice, nice.
Good. I love good. I love a good crazy match.
Yeah, you had to get the Tajiri Green Mist. He gets it on Guido,
Oh yeah, he had to hit it
but
on
then you
somebody.
got Big Guido in this match too. He was there
Mm-hmm.
and he gets involved. But then Mikey Whipwreck hits a top rope stunner, which was the most insane top rope stunner I've ever seen in my life. And
Oh, I know. Whipwreck had some crazy
and
moves
that's
in the
how
little bit he did.
Tajiri eliminates Guido, and then
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Crazy hits the moonsault on Tajiri and pins him for the win.
Yep. Gotta love a good super
Then
crazy.
we move on to a montage of classic ECW moments, which is it's good stuff. And then we get to
Yeah, the classic stuff you see
yeah, yeah.
everywhere.
And then match number 3, Extreme Lucha match.
Yeah.
Psychosis versus Lil Ray Ray.
Probably the worst match I've ever seen him have.
I mean,
I gave it a 3. Psychosis was not there for that.
yeah, Psychosis
He
under
did not look
WWE
good
is
at
a
all.
totally different wrestler than Psychosis outside of WWE.
No. Well, then and he took the mask
Yeah, that
off,
was
which was
super weird.
kind
I
of
noted that as my first. Psychosis wears the mask to
yeah.
the ring, but takes off before the match starts. And Styles and Foley were talking about that. That was like a prominent thing.
Yeah, and that's like when he does his WWE run, what's super crazy is the
Yeah.
Mexicools. He doesn't wear the mask. But like before that, he was wearing the mask most of the time. It
Did
was
he
kind of a
did he
weird.
ever lose a match to lose the mask, or did he just
Nah,
that Vince
if
said
he
you're not
did,
wearing
it
it?
would have had to been in WCW, but I don't remember. I don't think so because he was wearing the mask in the early TNA days.
Mhm. So maybe Vince just said you're
So
not wearing that.
yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't know if he didn't want two masked guys wrestling. Vince is weird.
That's
So
true. He does think like that. He probably said we already have Rey Mysterio who wears a mask. You can't wear a mask. That's
yeah.
probably what he said.
So it wouldn't shock me. But Psychosis just didn't look like he was on his game at all in
No,
that
no,
match.
definitely not. But he did.
Definitely, if you want to watch a good Raven Psychosis match, go back to WCW
Oh yeah,
or
definitely.
early ECW. This match is easily skippable.
Yeah. But he did lay a couple of crazy moves. So he has Ray across the guardrail, and he hits the Psycho Guillotine on him. That was pretty nasty.
No, that was a good. That was a good.
And then Ray jumps on Psychosis into the crowd, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is still Ray in his prime, so
And Ray
you're still
hits
getting
my
good
favorite
Ray.
combination of the 619 and the West Coast Pop. Screw
Yeah.
the splash. The West Coast Pop for the win. West Coast.
Well, he couldn't do the West Coast.
I
Pop
know,
anymore
but the
with
West
his
Coast
bad
Pop is
knees.
amazing.
Yeah, that is a good one.
So then Ray
I was
wins the
thinking about
match,
it.
and we
I was
cut
thinking about it on the
to
games.
yeah, in the games it's awesome. And then we cut to SmackDown superstars showing up while Ray's still in the ring, and Kurt Angle, JBL are the most notable ones leading. It's a bunch of jabronis. The cabinet's there,
Sweaty Kurt.
bunch of random people, and then Kurt and JBL.
Kurt's sweating his balls
Oh
off
yeah, he rips off his shirt
up there. JBL's doing his "I hate people."
Yeah, then we
gimmick.
get FU SmackDown chants breaking out, and then another classic moments highlight package plays as they go back from commercial. They did show the moment Sabu breaks his neck in that video package from Benoit when he drops him, which is just disgusting. If you've never seen it, go back and watch. Just type in Sabu breaking neck, and you should be able to find it's a disgusting.
Find like 50 videos.
Okay, Sabu breaks his neck by Benoit, and it's a disgusting drop that he has.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
So after they come back from commercial, they get Kurt Angle and JBL cutting promos on how ECW sucks, typical. And I have at one point Kurt takes his SmackDown shirt off while JBL's doing his promo.
Yep.
Kurt had to take his shirt
Kurt
off.
was getting flustered.
So then RVD and Bill Alfonso with the stupid whistle interrupt JBL's promo.
Yep, RVD was hurt at this time.
And he goes, I have this in my notes. I don't know where it is, but RVD goes full shoot on this promo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they just gave him a live mic.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but he goes crazy. So he cuts a promo on SmackDown and how good he was in ECW and how limited he is in WWE.
Yeah.
And then I also
definitely his best promo ever.
I also have in my notes that I forgot RVD was hurt before the show.
Yeah, well, he misses that WrestleMania thing.
Yeah.
Too.
So Rhino comes in and gores RVD and beats him down. Lights go out. Sabu returns and saves RVD. And then we get that match, Rhino versus Sabu.
Which is hilarious to me because literally in 2 months, 3 months maybe. Hold on, let me look that up.
Okay.
It might be just a month. Let me find this. 2005. I forget what month this pay-per-view's in.
I think it happens in August.
This pay-per-view's in June.
Oh, June.
ECW one I say is in June, but the pay-per-view I'm looking for is here it is. It is August 2005. This is the main event of the TNA Sacrifice pay-per-view. Okay?
Okay.
The main event is Jeff Jarrett and Rhino versus Raven and Sabu. That's 2 months later after this happens.
That's pretty crazy.
That's August 14th. This was June 12th. So literally 2 months later, both Rhino and Sabu are going to TNA to be in the main event of that pay-per-view, and here they're just in a random booked
pop-up
match.
Yeah, match number 4, yeah.
on the card at the ECW One Night Stand. I gave this match a 3.
Yeah.
It's an ECW match.
I was about to say, it's a typical Sabu match, chair spots, rope spots, the usual stuff.
RVD does a lot of stuff for having that hurt knee.
Yeah, he was going crazy in the ring.
So
Rhino
I
gores
think
the
he's
ref
just at the point doesn't care.
when Sabu pulls him in the way. RVD's knee brace is off at this point in the match, and he's hobbling around. Bill Alfonso.
Yeah, he definitely was still hurt.
Yeah, Bill Alfonso brings tables into the ring.
Of course it does.
RVD puts Rhino on the table. Sabu jumps off the top rope with the chair onto him. Classic Sabu spot. And covers Rhino. Sabu wins. So after Sabu gets the win, Al Snow, they cut backstage. Al Snow and Head are cutting a promo backstage about how Head called the SmackDown guys and invited him to the show. How could you?
You gotta love a good. You gotta love a good Al Snow.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you gotta love Head.
Yeah.
So
who doesn't?
So then that leads to another classic ECW package. Then we get the Raw superstars showing up. Most notably, Bischoff and Edge are leading the pack.
Yeah, this is right when Edge went full scumbag.
Oh yeah, and you could tell.
Yeah.
So then Joey Styles makes a comment. Oh, Joey Styles I didn't even mention this. Joey Styles on this card. I'll get to this when we wrap up the whole show and we talk about like final thoughts and stuff. Joey Styles is on another level on this commentary.
Well, he thought he was never gonna.
So we'll talk about that.
Do anything ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that in my final thoughts thing.
He was scorching some earth.
Oh yeah.
People
so he makes a comment about Edge being a wife stealer.
Yeah.
And then
he hates Bischoff's guts.
And then my favorite moment of the show, Benoit's music plays, and I thought the only thing I could think of because I forgot Benoit was on the show is the Elmo meme, where they have Benoit's music playing in the background of Elmo.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So that leads to
he's out there.
Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero. Really weird match.
You didn't like it?
I liked it. Just strange.
I liked it. Well, it's definitely not your best Eddie and Benoit match because Eddie's in that weird Ray feud right now.
And he had to stay character. He had to stay heel.
Where he's doing the whole Dominic thing and going psycho.
Yeah. So
it just was a weird time for him.
So during the match, we get a couple chants because the crowds doesn't care about the match. So they go, I effed Lita, and Lita's got herpes. Are a few chants that break out during the match.
Both are possible.
Eddie works heel during the match. Typical Eddie Benoit match. Good wrestling match is what I have on here. And then...
yeah, I gave it a 4.
Yeah, and then Benoit puts Eddie in the crippler crossface, and Eddie taps out.
Yeah. Yeah, this was where he was going through like he could never win a match phase, so it made sense.
So then we cut to Bischoff saying that ECW sucks. Classic.
I did want to say one thing about that.
Perfect.
Match, I do love that they brought up that was the first time they ever wrestled each other in technical ECW.
Oh.
I thought that was kind of crazy because they were both there for a little while and they never wrestled.
Yeah, but Eddie got that.
And that's one thing Paul Heyman said. If he could have kept both those guys, he could have had those two guys fighting for the world title and made tons of money.
He probably would have made tons of money off it. Those guys had the it factor back then.
But they left before he could get that going.
Mm-hmm. So after Bischoff cuts his promo saying that ECW sucks, we move to match number 6, and this is the most important match that I want to talk about. There's a lot of stuff.
Didn't even talk about Bischoff pouring beer on Gertner.
Oh, I
love Gertner.
Sorry, I kind of glanced over that. That was kind of strange and weird. I thought it was funny though.
I love Joel. He always gets beat up all the time.
So then we move to match number 6, which is Mike Awesome versus Masada Tanaka. And these two guys, if you've never seen a Awesome versus Tanaka match, you gotta go Google that, go on YouTube, do something, because these two beat each other up in ECW and in this match.
It was almost like a bet of like who could knock the other person out.
How much damage can we do to each other? And
those chair shots.
Oh my god,
it's almost hard to watch now that you don't see it much anymore.
Yeah, I was cringing at some of the spots.
I gave it a 3.5, but just for sheer brutality alone.
Yeah.
Like those shots were
definitely
that one shot on the outside.
Oh yeah.
Gives Tanaka,
I know what you're talking about.
I thought he was dead.
So
or at least unconscious.
I definitely recommend going on YouTube and searching Mike Awesome versus Masada Tanaka. They probably have a playlist of all their matches because it is some of the stuff they did in ECW back in the day is insane. So basically, this whole match is Joey Styles just tearing apart Mike Awesome. So if you don't know, Mike Awesome was the ECW champion and gets a call to go sign with WCW. And he chooses to sign with the WCW, but he's still the champion, the ECW champion. So he leaves with the title and goes to WCW. Now, obviously, we know that his WCW career doesn't pan out very much, but Joey Styles never forgave him for that. He thought that he had just completely sold out and just screwed the company. So the whole match, he's degrading Mike Awesome for how he left back in the day. He calls him Judas at one point. And
call him Judas.
oh, okay. So Mike Awesome hits a suicide dive on Masada
Mm.
Tanaka. And Joey Styles says it's a shame he didn't take his own life, which, if you don't know, Mike Awesome killed himself a couple years later. So just a brutal spot of commentary.
Yeah, that's what we like to call that didn't age well, dude.
Oh, that is rough.
Now, to be fair to Mike Awesome, he signed the WCW deal, but he didn't take the title.
No, but he was the champion when he did it.
Yeah, they do the whole, which is one of the craziest facts about ECW is that he literally had a match for the ECW championship in ECW with the champion being a WCW wrestler and the guy who beat him being a WWE wrestler. And that was Taz.
Taz.
And Taz beats him and then he loses it to, I forget who, Sabu maybe? To get the title back to ECW. But yeah, that's just a whole weird thing. But yeah, Joey Styles just kind of, he got a little too emotional there. He went crazy on.
He went insane.
Some of the stuff he was saying was, and you could tell Foley was getting uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, he barely talked during that match.
He was trying to reel him back in there, and Styles even apologized on the thing at one point.
Yeah,
but he, I mean, to be fair to Joey Styles, he's thinking this is his last ever call. Like, he's not thinking he's going to start working for WWE.
So he's
not thinking any of that.
I have Joey Styles has since said in comments later on that he was a shoot, and he said if the original ECW was ending, then he was going to say whatever he wanted.
Yeah. He said whatever he wanted on that broadcast, did whatever he wanted, and he didn't think he was going to have to come back and be in the limelight anymore. He thought he was going to go away forever. No one's ever going to care.
So we're going in the match. It's a classic Tanaka Awesome match. Nasty chair shots, brutal spots. Awesome bomb off the top rope on an already broken table.
Disgusting.
The one chair or the one move you said earlier about Tanaka, he thought he was knocked out. An awesome bomb from inside the ring over the ropes through a table on the floor, which is just brutal in its own right. But then awesome suicide dives on Tanaka. And he pins him and wins the match. It
didn't make any sense.
An absolutely insane, classic Tanaka awesome match. I mean, it's what those guys do for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's disgusting.
So then we get the big moment. Paul Heyman, Paul E. Dangerously, walks out to the ring, his classic penguin waddle, although he wasn't as big back then.
He was still big.
And he comes out to cut a promo. He starts off by thanking a bunch of people, but then he turns his attention to the WWE superstars in the box up there in the balcony area. And he starts going crazy, starts making fun of WCW falling off, and Bischoff flips off Heyman. He tells everybody to hide their wives. It's Edge.
Yep, that was a good one.
So then the crowd starts chanting, "You screwed Matt," which is kind of insane.
I do my favorite part of that rant, which is a great rant by Paul Heyman. I give him credit. Like, keep his composure enough to get that all out and not get him too emotional. Like, that was pretty good. But my favorite part of that entire thing is when he goes up to says to Edge, "I got 2 words for you," and then he goes, "Matt freaking Hardy,"
which is 3 words, but whatever.
And then Edge is going, "Oh, that's 3." Like, he's like standing up there, like,
just like Edge. I had that written down in my notes too.
Oh, I love that part. That's so good.
So
then he does the V. He does the V1. He's like, "That's 3."
So then, my favorite moment of that promo, which I even referenced in one of our previous podcasts, was that he tells JBL he was only WWE champion for a year because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's a great
Which
line.
is actually true, probably.
No, it's completely true. Triple H ain't working on Tuesdays.
So then Paul Heyman goes on, and then he finishes the promo by saying, "This isn't Raw, SmackDown, or even WWE. This is ECW," and he leaves, and the crowd's going crazy.
Yep.
And then that moves to the main event, which is just an unbelievable match. Every time I watch Sandman, I'm in awe at the stuff that he does. Because
he's walking.
Because he
can walk.
Because he's just a regular dude that just does these.
He has no athleticism.
Sandman is the most normal guy. If you ever wanted to be a wrestler and you're just a normal guy, just become an extreme wrestler like Sandman, because you'll do it. He's the prime example. He's just a normal dude that drinks beer and hits people with kendo sticks.
Yeah. He does nothing good.
So
nothing he does is good.
So we get the Dudley Boys versus Dreamer and Sandman, and obviously we've talked. This is pretty well known that Sandman comes out to the Enter Sandman song, but it gets replaced all over for copyright reasons to his just regular WWE theme. And you thought that you had it on some point, but you couldn't find any.
No, I don't got it anywhere.
At any media that had it.
I have it on Facebook,
which is pretty sucky, but that's just this copyright for you. So then, in classic Sandman fashion, he's just spawning beers out of nowhere during his entrance. Like, where is he getting all these beers from? How is he having this many pockets?
Just pulling them out of those. He's wearing the carpenter pants, man. They got 50 million pockets in that thing.
But how are they that deep to hold that many beers?
I don't know.
Kept pulling them.
Got
And then the BWO comes out before the match starts and cuts a promo. And at the end, Stevie super kicks Sandman. Which
let's just call this match what it is. It's a cluster.
Oh yeah. The third member of the BWO, I had completely forgotten was what's his name?
Who are you talking about? Meanie?
No, not Meanie. The other dude. The other random dude.
Simon Dean?
Simon Dean, yes. I completely forgotten he was the other member of BWO.
Yeah, he's the Hogan.
I know, I had forgotten about that. But then when
what's his name? Hollywood Nova or something?
Yeah, like Hollywood Nova, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Simon Dean in WWE.
So then
which they make plenty of references to.
Yeah, so then after Stevie Super K Sandman, it all breaks loose, and ECW guys come to the ring, including Kid Cash, Ball.
Are you not going to talk about how they start that match with Dreamer and Sandman drinking the beers out of the woman's top?
I mean, I didn't know if that was relevant information or not.
I think that's pretty relevant, man. She was an ECW somebody. I forget what her name.
Yeah, she was one of the girls that they had.
Well, we're not talking about that.
So
that's how you do it.
We get that, and then we have all the ECW guys coming out: Kid Cash, Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, and the Nasty
You gotta
Boys.
get everybody out.
Yeah, you got. I mean, it's an ECW love letter. You got to send all the randos out there. Even though Kid Cash was pretty cool doing all those jumps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the match finally starts after they beat up the BWO. The match finally starts. It's a crazy Dudley Boy match. Flaming tables, trash can lids, ladders, contents of said trash can. Cheese graters was a pretty good one because that gets Tommy leaking.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
He goes nuts when Bubba grates the face. And then Tommy gives it right back to him, and Bubba's leaking. I mean, they're not just leaking, they're leaking.
Yeah. Well, most of these guys thought this was going to be their last match.
Yeah. So they're giving it all out there. So then Lance Storm and Just Incredible come out, and they takes out Sandman and Tommy, including a tombstone to Sandman on barbed wire, which is pretty disgusting. But then match keeps going, and we get Francine coming out, Tommy Dreamer's former manager. But then she turns on him and low blows him.
Yeah, Dreamer's getting kicked in the balls a lot.
So we couldn't have that. So Beulah McGillicuddy, Dreamer's wife, comes out to save Tommy, and they get into a classic cat fight. We had to get a cat fight from Joey Styles with Francine.
Oh yeah, they had to get out there sometime.
So we get that. They take each other out, and then Spike Dudley eventually gets out there because, of course, it's a Dudley match. Spike's got to be there. And they set up another table and pour lighter fluid on it. And this table. When I tell you this table's on fire, I don't know if you understand, not just you, the people listening too. I don't know if you understand how on fire this table was. I don't know if I've ever seen a table more on fire than this table was.
It was as bad as on fire as you get, man. There's barely table left.
And Bubba powerbombs Tommy through the flaming table for the win. And they celebrate. Everybody goes home happy. Sandman calls for a beer after the match, and Stone Cold answers the call. Because who else? If you're going to call for a beer, Stone Cold
Yeah,
Steve
that's the
Austin's
only
going to answer
person
the call. And that
that makes
glass
sense.
shatters and everybody freaks out.
We do have to talk about the Stone Cold comes out there assassin everybody. I did give that match, by the way, a 2.5.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It was not great. But Stone Cold comes out. He's giving trash to the invaders
Oh,
and
yeah,
everybody,
definitely.
and gives ECW that little bit of credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like Stone Cold's on their
Well,
side.
Stone Cold was a wrestler there back in the day
Yeah,
before he
yeah.
broke out and became what he is now.
So you kind of get that little bit of love for ECW
Mm-hmm.
there from Stone Cold, which helps. Although my favorite part of the whole thing is Stone Cold's trying to talk on the mic and Sandman's just screaming out, "Give me a bear!"
So we get the dream beer drinking duo, the two most drunk wrestlers in history.
And then Stone Cold just hits him with the beer and says, "Take that, kid!" and pushes him out of the way.
So we get them drinking,
"Not done, kid.
and then
Take that."
Stone Cold gets on the mic and he calls out the ECW locker room so they can come out and drink a beer with Sandman in the ring. You want to drink a beer? And we get the Stone Cold calling out the WWE superstars, the Crusaders, in the balcony, asking them to come to the ring and get in a fight, which they do.
Which my favorite part about that, by the way, is Stone Cold getting a chair on the outside and like, "Come on, fight him!"
Well, he's gonna
Fight
be the antagonist. He's not gonna actually do anything.
I'm sitting out here watching. You fight him.
He goes there to the ring announcers and gets a beer and just starts sitting down and drinking. So during the brawl, so they get in the ring and they have the face off and then everybody fights.
What's the face off's great?
Yeah, you get ECW on one side of the ring, WWE and Raw and SmackDown on the other side of the ring, and then they fight. And during the brawl, because Kurt Angle's kind of going crazy, the crowd goes, "We want Taz! We want Taz!"
Well, Kurt Angle gets out of there.
And then
he's running up the ramp.
And then Taz does come out and puts Kurt Angle in the Taz mission. So pretty awesome. But then during the fight, I don't know if you noticed. Did you notice this? It's probably pretty well known, but JBL legit hard way busts open Blue Meanie.
Oh yeah, there's a whole backstory.
Yeah, he goes on the hard way on Blue Meanie.
They had a whole thing where Blue Meanie said something about him, and JBL took it personal. So
because of course he did.
He shoots on him, and actually beats the snot out of Meanie.
You can tell.
Like beats the snot out of me. Like
they're kind of so if you're looking from the hard cam, they're in their top right corner of the ring.
Yeah. Like JBL goes straight forward.
Oh yeah.
Like it's premeditated.
Yeah, it happens pretty early. The blood, you can tell.
Yeah.
So we get them fighting. JBL busts open Blue Meanie the hard way, and the brawl happens. People are breaking out. Obviously, ECW guys get the win. Mick Foley, who was not involved in the fight, he's on commentary, but he gets called in to bring Eric Bischoff into the ring. So he does that, and he gets Bischoff into the ring. Benoit hits the diving headbutt. Stone Cold asks Eric while he's on the ground what he thought about the show, and Eric says, "FECW." And Stone Cold stuns him to end the show, and the screen goes to black. So
you gotta give Bishop credit there. He took the 3D, he took a man.
Yeah, he took some nasty finishes.
The headbutt, I think he got 619, and a stunner.
Yeah,
so he took a beating.
He took it on. All right, so now that we've recapped the whole show, I want to talk about some final thoughts. A couple of things that I have. Sandman and Sabu are the most ECW wrestlers of all time.
Yes.
They just I don't know how Sabu's not alive. I don't know how they were alive for so long in Sabu's case and how Sandman is still alive. Like what are we talking about here?
I don't know.
How could you do the stuff that you did for all those years and continued to do for the years since? How are you still alive for Sandman's case?
Yeah, I don't know. Sandman's freaking psychopath.
I've seen some of his highlights in ECW. He's just tossing himself onto ladders outside the ring. Like he doesn't have any choreographed moves. He's just tossing his body like a rag doll.
Oh no. His finish was a Singapore cane. What are we talking about here? So I mean,
we get that. It's insane for Sandman and Sabu. And then I always am curious. I have this one down as kind of like a I wonder what happened kind of thing. So I wonder what happened when these guys came back to Raw and SmackDown locker rooms, because some of these ECW guys were on the rosters of Raw and SmackDown when this happened, like when the ECW One Night Stand was booked. So they say all this stuff and they go crazy, and it gets pretty personal. So what happens to those guys when they go back to their jobs?
But none of the guys that got personal were on WWE's roster, really.
Except for RVD.
Okay, but he was gone at that point.
True.
He's not even there. He's just hurt. I mean, I'll tell you, the guys that are on the roster, Jericho didn't do anything with the Mysterio. He didn't do anything with the. He hit the 619 on Bischoff.
Yeah, that's Bischoff doesn't really
matter. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, who else was like Rhino? He was getting ready to leave. Obviously,
True.
We just talked about that. Eddie and Benoit, they didn't do anything.
No,
they did a little bit at the end.
I guess you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
But like the main guys didn't really do anything. It was the guys that were like the ECW guys. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys that did all the stuff. Like the one, besides it being a really good a throwback for ECW, the one thing I couldn't stop thinking about was like if you watch the show, you're literally watching a preview of the next 5 to 6 months of TNA wrestling, which I just couldn't stop thinking about because I love TNA in like 2005, and it just kept hitting me every time I saw somebody come out. Sabu, Rhino's going to go there. Then you had the Dudleys. Mm-hmm. They end up in TNA at the end of 2005. I think this is their last WWE match. Is this ECW match?
Man.
But then guys on the other side, because Christian was out there in the group of the Raw guys. True. He's getting ready to leave. Angle's out there. He leaves in a year.
Yeah, one of his last things is the 2006 ECW.
Yeah, and then Tonko is
that's right.
There. He
was one of the jabronis.
He's going to leave with Christian too. And I don't know. It just was like every time I was thinking about it, I was like, man, he's going to be in TNA by the end of the year. He's going to be in TNA by the end of the year. Like that Ryan Sabu match when we talked about that, like that just blew my mind thinking about it like that because it was
that is pretty crazy.
And like Mitchell's already
he's already in TNA, yeah,
and he's gonna go back. I mean, it was just that weird like, man, all these guys, these guys are like, and it just blows you. It just shows you how much higher WWE was at this time than TNA was because you got a match 4 on this card of Sabu and Rhino that's like based in ECW nostalgia. That's in 2 months going to be in your main event with your world champion of TNA. And then Raven, who's all ECW, but he was already in TNA and they wouldn't let him come. Or he probably would have been there too. And it's just crazy to think about how it was basically this pay-per-view is like a preview for the way TNA is going to go here in the next couple months.
And then one of the last things that I wanted to mention was I was watching the pay-per-view and I was wondering how much was actually a shoot during the show. Because I know a few things like the Joey Styles, Mike Awesome stuff, the Heyman promo, the RVD promo, and the JBL Blue Meanie stuff. But I wonder if there was anything else we didn't catch.
Nothing really stood out to me as being a shoot. I'll tell you what I do think is I think a lot of what Joey Styles and Mick Foley knew, they didn't really know what was going to happen. Because a lot of the ends of matches, they were like, seemed kind of surprised.
Yeah, they did.
Like especially with Jericho Storm and then the whole Taboo Rhino thing. What was the other one? I mean, Mike Awesome and Tanaka.
For different
but that was for other reasons. Yeah. But it just seemed like it was just kind of it wasn't a thought out show.
It was a classic Paul Heyman ECW pay-per-view. It's booked by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, I was just gonna throw and see what happens, and it was just an overbooked mess. But it went into a one night only. That's what happened.
You got to do everything.
You're trying to get as many people on this card as possible,
and you got to go all in because you don't think you're getting anything else. So
you're throwing cameos out there left and right. You're doing whatever you can to get as much out of it as possible.
And since we're talking about ECW, and I just wanted to share one of my favorite, most memorable moments from what I've heard from stuff that's happened in ECW back in the day, back in the 90s. So if anybody listening...
Let me guess.
Oh, okay.
Is it Tommy Dreamer saying that he likes both the women and makes out both of them?
That's a classic one. That's not what I was going to lead to. That's not what I was
Okay.
gonna talk about. So, if anybody out there is not listening, does not know about this piece of lore, Kurt Angle was actually going to sign with ECW back in the day, and he showed up to a show to watch and see what maybe it's kind of like a recruit going on campus to visit. He wanted to see what it was all about. So he goes to the show, and that show happened to have a match on it where a certain ECW wrestler by the name of Raven would proceed to crucify his opponent, which was Sandman, right?
It was Sandman.
Yeah. He would crucify Sandman during the match. Literally Jesus crucifixion. And Kurt Angle didn't like that. And so that was the main reason, one of the main reasons, that Kurt Angle chose not to sign with ECW and go to WWE. So a little fun fact for you.
Yeah, he was not happy.
Just the fact that Raven would even think crucifixion's a good idea.
Hey, man, back then it was all about just limits.
Well, yeah, it's edgy, 90s, grit and grind kind of thing, grunge. I get it, but might be crossing a little bit of a line there.
Not a good look.
So, now that we've recapped everything, do you have any final thoughts? What did you think of the show overall?
It was a good show. I'd give it like a 2.53.
Okay.
It wasn't anything that was like amazing.
No, it wasn't. It didn't blow my mind. None of the matches were.
It gives you that good nostalgia.
Yeah.
So that's what it was built on.
And like I said, it was a love letter to ECW because they didn't think they were getting anything else. This was their one and only shot, and they did everything they could.
Yeah. So, which is funny that they thought this was it, and then they had the show. They had the second pay-per-view, which definitely was more WWE.
Oh, definitely.
Affied, whatever you want to call it there, but yeah, it ECW was supposed to be it, and it just never seems to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they say. ECW never dies.
Like you just keep trying to kill it, and it just won't.
We still get ECW chants to this day.
They tried to kill it.
ECW is never gonna. They've tried to kill it like 4 different times.
But
ECW's never gonna die. So that is our. You have any other thoughts? Before we wrap this up.
No, I do. One day want to go over and watch the 2010 Hardcore. Was it Hardcore Justice?
Probably.
That TNA did.
Yeah, because they used to do Hard Justice, so they changed it to Hardcore.
And kind of go and look at that and see which ECW thing we liked better.
Yeah, we can do that sometime. But that is going to do it for our recap and review of ECW One Night Stand 2005. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a like on Spotify and leave a comment if you want to. And we will catch you guys in the next Wrestling Rewind.
Peace.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What's our channel called? The Brothers of Wrestling, that's right. I haven't introed it in a long time. I forgot what we were
Welcome back to what the F are we doing?
Sorry.
What's this called again?
The Brothers of Wrestling. I forgot about that. I almost said my YouTube channel. I haven't introed it for a minute, so.
I know, I got sick and we stopped doing it for a while.
All right, there we go. Brothers of Wrestling. I got it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Whoa, what's this called again?
That's a blooper.
Yeah, you can put that at the end.
All right, I got it now.
Oh, I hope so.